The rain hammered against the hospital windows like 1,000 tiny fists, each drop a reminder of the tears Maya had learned to hold back. At just 9 years old, she had mastered the art of smiling through pain, the kind that had nothing to do with the accident that took her ability to walk and everything to do with watching her mother work 3 jobs just to keep them alive. Sarah Chen hadn't slept properly in 2 years. Dark circles had become permanent fixtures beneath her eyes, and her once bright smile now flickered like a candle fighting against the wind. She was a woman drowning in medical bills, rent notices, and the suffocating weight of keeping her daughter's world from completely falling apart. Every morning, she kissed Maya goodbye at the rehabilitation center before rushing to her shift at the diner, then the convenience store, then the late-night cleaning job at the office building downtown. Every night, she returned to their cramped studio apartment, counted the coins in the jar on the counter, and whispered prayers she wasn't sure anyone heard. But someone did hear. Marcus Wellington wasn't the kind of billionaire who made headlines for buying yachts or islands. At 63, the tech mogul had built his empire from nothing, a foster kid who coded his first program on a library computer and never forgot what it felt like to be invisible. His foundation for family futures had quietly changed thousands of lives, offering everything from education scholarships to medical support for families in crisis. He didn't do it for recognition. He did it because he remembered being 10 years old, hungry, and absolutely certain that nobody cared whether he lived or died. The day Marcus met Maya, he wasn't looking for a story. He was touring the children's rehabilitation wing of St. Michael's Hospital, a facility his foundation had funded, when he heard laughter, genuine, unbridled joy, coming from the physical therapy room. Inside, a little girl in a purple wheelchair was racing another child, her mother cheering from the sidelines despite looking like she might collapse from exhaustion at any moment. Something about the scene stopped Marcus cold. Maybe it was the way Maya's face lit up with pure determination. Maybe it was the love in Sarah's eyes that transcended her obvious exhaustion. Or maybe it was the ghost of his own childhood, reminding him that families like this were always one disaster away from losing everything. He made inquiries. Within 24 hours, Marcus knew everything. The drunk driver who had destroyed their lives 2 years ago, the insurance company that had weaseled out of coverage on a technicality, Sarah's crushing debt, Maya's need for an experimental surgery that could restore partial mobility, a surgery that cost more than Sarah would earn in 5 years. Marcus had a policy. His foundation helped families, not individuals. But something about Maya and Sarah called to him on a deeper level. He arranged a meeting under the pretense of a routine foundation interview, though he'd already decided he wanted to do something extraordinary. The meeting took place in a small conference room at the hospital. Sarah sat with her hands folded tightly in her lap, trying to hide their trembling. Maya wheeled herself to the table with practiced ease, though Marcus noticed how she winced when she thought no one was looking. "Mrs. Chen," Marcus began gently, "I've reviewed your situation. What your family has been through, what you've endured, it's remarkable that you're still fighting." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. She quickly blinked away. "We do what we have to do. Maya deserves every chance." "I agree," Marcus said, then shifted his attention to the little girl. "Maya, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Without hesitation, Maya replied, "A doctor. So I can help kids like me. And so my mom doesn't have to worry so much anymore." The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. 9 years old, and already carrying the weight of her mother's struggles. "I'd like to make you an offer," Marcus said slowly. "My foundation has an adoption program for exceptional children. We provide full scholarships, medical care, housing, everything needed for a successful future. Maya, I'd like to adopt you into the program. You'd live with a carefully selected family, receive the surgery you need, attend the best schools." "No." Maya's voice was quiet but absolute. Marcus blinked, surprised. In all his years, no one had ever turned down his help. "I understand this is sudden, but—" "You don't understand," Maya interrupted, her small hands gripping the wheels of her chair. "I can't leave my mom. She needs me." "Sweetheart," Sarah said, her voice breaking, "this is an incredible opportunity." "Mom, no." Tears now streamed down Maya's face. "You work all day and night because of me. You're tired all the time because of me. If I leave, who's going to make sure you eat dinner? Who's going to remind you to take your vitamins? Who's going to tell you jokes when you're sad? The room fell silent except for Sarah's quiet sobbing. Then Maya turned to Marcus, and in that moment, she looked far older than her 9 years. Mr. Wellington, I know you're trying to help. And I'm grateful, I really am. But please, don't adopt me. Adopt my mom instead. Marcus felt his carefully maintained composure crack. I'm not sure I understand. Maya wheeled closer, her eyes fierce with determination. You want to help kids. My mom has been helping me every single day since the accident. She hasn't bought herself new clothes in 2 years. She eats crackers for dinner so I can have real food. She works until her hands bleed because she loves me that much. If you adopt her, give her a job at your company, help her so she doesn't have to kill herself working, then you're helping both of us. Because I can't be happy if she's suffering. I won't be. The silence that followed was deafening. Marcus had negotiated billion-dollar deals, addressed Congress, met with presidents and kings. But this 9-year-old girl had just taught him something profound about love and sacrifice that all his education and experience had failed to reveal. He looked at Sarah, who was staring at her daughter with a mixture of pride, heartbreak, and overwhelming love. Then he looked back at Maya, this incredible child who would rather sacrifice her own future than abandon her mother. What if, Marcus said slowly, I told you there was a third option. Over the next hour, Marcus outlined a plan that left both Maya and Sarah speechless. He would hire Sarah as a program coordinator for his foundation, a real position with a real salary, health insurance, and reasonable hours. He would cover Maya's surgery and ongoing medical expenses. They would receive housing assistance to move into a safe, accessible apartment. But most importantly, they would stay together. Families shouldn't have to choose, Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion. I learned that too late in my own life. I can't fix my past, but maybe I can help build your future. Sarah couldn't speak. She simply reached for her daughter's hand and held on like she'd never let go. 6 months later, Marcus attended Maya's first post-surgery physical therapy session. She took 3 shaky steps with her walker before her legs gave out, but the triumph in her eyes could have lit up the entire city. Sarah stood beside Marcus, healthy, rested, and radiant in a way she hadn't been in years. Thank you, Sarah whispered. You gave us our lives back. But Marcus shook his head, watching Maya determinedly try again. Your daughter taught me that real wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in the people we refuse to leave behind. As Maya took her 4th step, then her 5th, her laughter filled the room, the same pure, unbridled joy Marcus had heard that first day. Only now, her mother was laughing too. And the sound of their happiness became the most valuable thing Marcus Wellington had ever invested in. Some fortunes are counted in gold. Others are counted in the moments when love refuses to let go.